The Deathworld Diplomats. Chapter 1, Whispers from the Void. The vast expanse of the Veil Nebula stretched across the viewport of the Odyssey, a swirling canvas of cosmic dust and shimmering gases. Within the dimly lit bridge, the rhythmic hum of the ship's engines provided a constant soundtrack to the quiet vigilance of the crew. Lieutenant Ava Chen, her dark eyes glued to the sensor array, tapped a fingernail against her console in a nervous rhythm. "Captain," she reported, her voice barely a whisper in the hushed atmosphere, "I'm picking up an anomalous energy reading." Captain Richard Hayes leaned forward, his gaze following Chen's pointing finger to a blip on the screen. "That's strange," he murmured, his brow furrowing. "It's not on any of our charts." He turned to the communications officer, Ensign Benji Patel. "Benji, try to isolate and amplify the signal." Patel's fingers danced across his console, his youthful face etched with concentration. After a few tense moments, a series of chirps and whistles filled the bridge, the sound alien and yet somehow familiar. "It's structured, Captain," Patel reported, his voice tinged with awe. "It's not random noise. It's a signal." Hayes exchanged a look with Chen, a spark of excitement igniting in their eyes. "A signal in an uncharted region of space," he said, a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "This could be big." Days turned into weeks as the Odyssey cautiously approached the source of the signal, their anticipation growing with each passing hour. What they discovered was a sight that took their breath away, a planet bathed in the soft glow of a binary star system, its surface a vibrant tapestry of lush forests, shimmering oceans, and sprawling cities that seemed to defy gravity. The planet was cloaked, shielded from external detection by an advanced cloaking technology that hinted at a civilization far more advanced than any they had encountered before. "Incredible," Dr. Ethan Blake murmured, his voice filled with wonder as he analyzed the scans from his station in the science lab. Blake, a wiry man with a mop of unruly brown hair and a perpetual air of curiosity, was the Odyssey's resident xenobiologist. His lifelong fascination with alien life forms had led him to join the Galactic Concord's exploration program, and now he was on the cusp of a discovery that could change everything. Commander Zara Malik leaned over Blake's shoulder, her eyes scanning the detailed holographic projection of the planet. Malik, a tall woman with close-cropped black hair and a piercing gaze, was a seasoned veteran of countless interstellar conflicts. Her stern demeanor belied a sharp intellect and a deep compassion for all sentient beings. "And it's teeming with life," she observed, her voice a low rumble. "Intelligent life." The crew's initial excitement was tempered by caution. They knew nothing about the inhabitants of this planet, their intentions, or their technological capabilities. As they continued their scans and intercepted transmissions, a picture began to emerge of a peaceful, technologically advanced society with no knowledge of the wider galaxy. "They call themselves Ethereals," Blake reported, his fingers flying across his keyboard as he translated the intercepted language. "They seem to have a rich culture focused on art, philosophy, and science. But there's no mention of war, conflict, or even basic self-defense." Malik's brow furrowed. "A peaceful civilization in the heart of a dangerous galaxy," she mused. "They're vulnerable. We need to proceed with caution." The decision was made to send a diplomatic mission to Ethos to establish first contact and assess the situation. Commander Malik, chosen for her experience in both war and diplomacy, was tasked with leading the mission. She handpicked a team of specialists to accompany her, Dr. Blake for his expertise in xenobiology and cultural understanding, Ambassador Anya Patel, a skilled negotiator and linguist, and Lieutenant Samir Hassan, a seasoned pilot and security expert. As the Harbinger, the Odyssey's diplomatic shuttle, detached from the mothership and set course for Ethos, Malik couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation. She knew that this mission could have far-reaching consequences, not only for the Ethereals, but for the entire galactic Concord. The fate of a hidden world rested in her hands. Chapter 2. The Envoy from Earth. The Harbinger descended through Ethos's azure sky, its sleek metallic hull gleaming in the light of the twin suns. Below, the sprawling city of Lumina shimmered like a mirage, its crystalline spires and delicate arches a testament to the Ethereal's mastery of architecture. Commander Malik stood at the viewport, her heart pounding in her chest as she watched the city grow larger with each passing moment. As the Harbinger touched down on a landing pad outside the city's central plaza, a hush fell over the gathered crowd. Hundreds of Ethereals, their skins shimmering with an iridescent sheen, watched in silent awe as the shuttle's ramp lowered. Commander Malik, flanked by Dr. Blake and Ambassador Patel, stepped onto the platform. Lieutenant Hassan remained on board, his hand never straying far from his holstered sidearm. The Ethereals parted before them, their eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of fear. Elder Kale, his long silver hair flowing like a waterfall down his back, stepped forward. His eyes, the color of twilight skies, held a mixture of caution and hope. "Welcome to Ethos," he said in a melodious voice, his words translated seamlessly by Blake's universal translator. "We are honored by your presence." Malik returned the greeting, her voice calm and measured. "Thank you, Elder Kale. We come in peace, representing the galactic conquered. We seek friendship and cooperation." A ripple of murmurs passed through the crowd. The Galactic Concord was a name that held no meaning for them. Their world, shielded for millennia by their ancestors' technology, had remained untouched by the turmoil and strife of the wider galaxy. The following days were a whirlwind of cultural exchange and diplomatic dance. The Ethereals, eager to learn about their visitors, bombarded the human diplomats with questions. They were fascinated by the humans' diverse appearances, their varied languages, and their seemingly endless supply of stories and knowledge. The humans, in turn, were captivated by the Ethereals' gentle nature, their artistic creations, and their deep connection to their planet's natural rhythms. But they were also troubled by their lack of awareness of the galaxy's dangers. During a formal dinner in the Elders' Grand Hall, Ambassador Patel, her face illuminated by the soft glow of bioluminescent plants, attempted to explain the concept of the Galactic Concord. "It's an alliance of many different species," she said, her voice soft and soothing. "We work together to protect each other, to share knowledge and resources, and to maintain peace throughout the galaxy." Elder Kale listened intently, his expression thoughtful. "Peace is a noble goal," he said, "but we have always found it within ourselves. We do not need the help of others." Malik leaned forward, her eyes meeting Kale's. "The galaxy is a vast and dangerous place," she said. "There are forces out there that would seek to exploit your isolation, to take advantage of your innocence." Kale's eyes narrowed. "You speak of war," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "We have no knowledge of such things." Blake, sensing the growing tension, intervened. "War is a terrible thing," he said, his voice gentle, "but it is a reality of the universe. We do not wish for you to experience it, but we believe that it is important for you to be aware of the dangers that exist beyond your borders." The conversation continued late into the night, the Ethereals listening intently as the humans shared tales of conflict, loss, and resilience. It was a difficult conversation, but a necessary one. The humans knew that if the Ethereals were to join the Galactic Concord, they needed to understand the risks involved. Chapter 3. A Galaxy Unveiled. The air within the Ethereal Council chambers was thick with a palpable tension. The walls, adorned with intricate murals depicting scenes of tranquil nature and harmonious coexistence, seemed to silently rebuke the discordant energy that now filled the space. "We have lived in peace for millennia," Elder Kale spoke, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Why would we risk our serenity for the sake of joining this Galactic Concord?" Ambassador Patel stood tall, her hands clasped calmly before her. "Peace is a precious gift, Elder Kale," she said, her voice resonating with sincerity. "But it is a fragile one. The galaxy is not always kind, and there are those who would seek to disrupt your tranquility." With a subtle gesture, Patel activated a holographic projector. The air above the council floor shimmered, then coalesced into a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Stars twinkled, nebulae swirled, and the vast expanse of space stretched out before the astonished Ethereals. "This is our galaxy," Patel explained, "a vast and wondrous place, filled with countless worlds and civilizations. But it is also a place of conflict and danger." Dr. Blake stepped forward, his voice gentle but firm. "We come from a world called Earth," he said, his words accompanied by images of lush forests, towering mountains, and bustling cities. It is a beautiful planet, but it has a long history of war and strife. The Ethereals watched in stunned silence as images of battles, both ancient and modern, flickered across the holographic display. They saw the rise and fall of empires, the clash of ideologies, and the devastating consequences of unchecked aggression. We have learned through hard-won experience, Malik added, her voice grave, that peace is not simply the absence of conflict, but the active pursuit of understanding and cooperation. The revelations shook the Ethereals to their core. Their peaceful worldview, carefully cultivated over generations, was suddenly challenged by the harsh realities of the wider galaxy. A young Ethereal named Lara, her eyes flashing with indignation, rose to her feet. "This is madness," she exclaimed. "Why would we invite danger into our lives? We have thrived in isolation for millennia. Why change now?" Her words resonated with a faction of the council, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. Elder Kale, however, remained silent, his gaze fixed on the holographic display, his brow furrowed in deep thought. "The choice is yours," Malik said, her voice steady and resolute. "We offer you friendship, knowledge, and protection, but we will not force you to join us. The decision ultimately rests with you." With that, the human diplomats retreated to their quarters, leaving the Ethereals to grapple with the implications of what they had learned. The council chamber fell into a hushed murmur as the Ethereals debated their future. Would they choose to remain isolated, clinging to their peaceful traditions? Or would they embrace the unknown, venturing into the wider galaxy with the hope of forging a brighter future? The fate of Ethos hung in the balance, the answer yet to be revealed. Chapter 4. Forged in Fire. A low rumble shook the ground beneath their feet, sending tremors through the crystalline spires of Lumina. The Ethereals, unaccustomed to such seismic activity, cried out in alarm as the earth shuddered and cracked. The once serene skies above Ethos darkened, the twin suns obscured by a thick veil of ash and smoke billowing from the newly awakened volcano. As the ground continued to tremble, a wall of water surged towards the coastal city of Seren, sweeping away everything in its path. Panic erupted among the Ethereals, their harmonious society thrown into chaos. "This is a disaster!" Elder Kale exclaimed, his voice trembling as he surveyed the devastation from his balcony. "Our planet has never experienced such calamity. We must act quickly," Malik said, her voice firm and resolute as she assessed the situation from the Harbinger's command center. "Lieutenant Hassan, prepare the emergency medical supplies. Ambassador Patel, coordinate with the local authorities. Dr. Blake, I need you to assess the extent of the damage." The human diplomats sprang into action, their years of experience in crisis situations kicking in. Hassan, his face grim with determination, led a team of medics into the heart of the ravaged city, treating the injured and evacuating those in danger. Patel, her voice calm and reassuring, established communication channels with the ethereal leaders, coordinating relief efforts and offering assistance. Blake, his brow furrowed in concentration, used his advanced scanners to analyze the seismic activity and predict the path of the lava flow. The humans' swift and decisive actions earned them the respect and admiration of many Ethereals, who had never witnessed such efficiency and resourcefulness. Even some of the isolationists, who had initially viewed the humans with suspicion, began to grudgingly acknowledge their competence. However, Lyra and her followers remained steadfast in their opposition. They blamed the disasters on the humans' presence, claiming that their arrival had disrupted the planet's natural balance. Their accusations found fertile ground among the frightened and disoriented Ethereals. In an attempt to bridge the growing divide, Malik called for a public address. Standing before a crowd of Ethereals, their faces etched with fear and sorrow, she spoke of her own experiences on Earth, a planet ravaged by war and natural disasters. "I have seen firsthand the devastation that conflict and chaos can bring," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I have lost loved ones, friends, and comrades. But I have also witnessed the incredible resilience of the human spirit, our ability to come together in times of crisis to rebuild and to heal." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the crowd. "We are not here to bring you harm," she continued. "We are here to offer our help, our knowledge, our friendship. We believe that by working together, We can overcome any challenge, any disaster. Then in a move that surprised even her own team, Malik shared a personal story that she had never spoken of before. She told of the day she lost her family in a surprise attack, the pain and anger she felt, and the long road to healing. She spoke of the importance of community, of shared responsibility, and of the unwavering hope that had sustained her through the darkest of times. Her words hung in the air, a testament to the strength of the human spirit. The Ethereals listened in rapt silence, their hearts touched by her raw honesty and vulnerability. For the first time, they saw the humans not as invaders or conquerors, but as fellow beings who had also known suffering and loss. Chapter 5. A Choice for the Ages. The Grand Council chamber buzzed with an energy unlike any before. Ethereal elders, adorned in flowing robes of shimmering silk, gathered in a circle beneath the soft glow of bioluminescent orbs. The air crackled with anticipation as the fate of Ethos hung in the balance. Elder Kale, his usually serene face etched with worry, addressed the council. "We stand at a crossroads, my friends." His voice resonated with a newfound gravity. "The humans have shown us a galaxy far different from the one we imagined, a galaxy filled with both wonder and peril. They have offered us a hand of friendship, but also a warning of dangers we have never known." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. The recent disasters, coupled with the humans' revelations, had shaken the Ethereals' confidence in their isolationist ways. Yet the fear of change lingered. Lyra, her voice sharp and clear, rose to challenge Kale's words. "We must not be swayed by fear," she proclaimed, her eyes flashing with conviction. "Our ancestors chose isolation to protect us from the chaos of the galaxy. Why would we abandon their wisdom now?" Her words found support among the more conservative elders, who clung to tradition and feared the unknown. But others, particularly the younger generation, were drawn to the promise of a wider world, of knowledge and experiences beyond their sheltered existence. Dr. Blake, who had spent countless hours studying ancient ethereal texts, raised a trembling hand. "I have discovered something that may shed light on our current predicament," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "An ancient prophecy, hidden within our sacred scrolls, speaks of a time of great change, a time when star travelers will arrive on Ethos, bringing with them knowledge and challenges." The chamber fell silent as Blake unveiled a holographic projection of the ancient text, its glowing symbols translating into the common ethereal tongue. The prophecy spoke of a union between Ethos and the star travelers, a partnership that would lead them through a period of upheaval and ultimately usher in an era of unprecedented growth and prosperity. Ambassador Patel, sensing a shift in the mood, stepped forward. "We do not ask you to abandon your peaceful ways," she said, her voice filled with warmth and sincerity. "We believe that your compassion and wisdom have much to offer the galaxy. We seek not to change you, but to learn from you, to grow together." Her words resonated with many of the Ethereals, who saw in the humans not conquerors, but potential allies. The vision of a future where Ethos played a vital role in a wider community of diverse species sparked a glimmer of hope in their hearts. The debate raged for hours, voices rising and falling, arguments clashing and merging. But as the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the chamber, a consensus began to emerge. The Ethereals, guided by Elder Kale's wisdom, Dr. Blake's revelation, and Ambassador Patel's persuasive words, were ready to take a leap of faith. They would join the Galactic Concord, not as subservient members, but as equal partners, contributing their unique perspective and skills to the Alliance. They would embrace the unknown, not with fear, but with curiosity and hope. It was a choice for the ages, a decision that would shape the destiny of Ethos and its people for generations to come. Chapter 6. A New Horizon. The Plaza of Lumina was awash in a kaleidoscope of colors, the air alive with the rhythmic pulse of celebration. Garlands of bioluminescent flora adorned the crystalline spires, casting a soft, ethereal glow upon the jubilant crowd. The Ethereals, their iridescent skin shimmering in the light of the twin suns, danced and sang in joyous abandon, their voices a symphony of hope and unity. Children with faces painted in intricate patterns of vibrant pigments chased each other through the throng, their laughter echoing through the ancient city. Elder Kale, his silver hair gleaming like moonlight, stood at the center of the festivities, his weathered face etched with a gentle smile. He raised a delicate crystal goblet filled with sparkling nectar, the liquid shimmering like captured starlight. "To new beginnings," he proclaimed, his voice resonating with a quiet strength. "To the galactic conquered, may our partnership bring peace and prosperity to all." The crowd raised their voices in a resounding cheer, their goblets clinking together in a harmonious symphony of unity. Even Lyra, her features softened by the infectious joy of the celebration, offered a hesitant smile and a nod of acceptance. Commander Malik, standing beside Kale, felt a surge of warmth and pride. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with challenges and setbacks, but the result was a triumph of diplomacy and understanding. She had witnessed firsthand the power of empathy to bridge the gap between vastly different cultures and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. "We are honored to welcome you into the Galactic Concord," Malik said, her voice filled with sincerity. "Your wisdom, compassion, and technological prowess will be invaluable to our alliance." Dr. Blake, his eyes sparkling with excitement, observed the Ethereals' interactions with a keen interest. He marveled at their graceful movements, their intricate rituals, and their deep connection to the natural world. He had come to Ethos with a thirst for knowledge, and he had found a treasure trove of cultural riches. As the celebrations continued late into the night, Blake found himself drawn to the outskirts of the plaza, where a group of ethereal children had gathered around a holographic display of the Milky Way galaxy. Their eyes were wide with wonder as they gazed at the vast expanse of stars, nebulae, and planets. "What is that?" a young ethereal asked, pointing to a swirling vortex of light. Blake knelt beside her, a gentle smile on his face. "That's a galaxy," he explained. "A vast collection of stars, gas, dust, and planets held together by gravity. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is just one of countless galaxies in the universe." The children listened intently, their faces alight with curiosity. Blake spent hours answering their questions, explaining the mysteries of the cosmos in simple terms that they could understand. He felt a deep connection to these young minds, eager to learn and explore the universe. As dawn approached, the festivities began to wind down. The Ethereals, exhausted but exhilarated, made their way back to their homes, their hearts filled with a newfound sense of purpose and belonging. The Harbinger, its mission accomplished, prepared for departure. Commander Malik stood at the viewport, watching as the sun's rays painted the sky with hues of orange and pink. The city of Lumina, bathed in the soft morning light, looked more vibrant and alive than ever before. "It's a beautiful world," Lieutenant Hassan remarked, his voice tinged with a touch of sadness. "Indeed, Malik replied, her gaze lingering on the receding planet. "But it is no longer alone. It is part of something much larger now, a community of shared values and mutual support." As the Harbinger ascended into the starry sky, Malik couldn't help but feel a sense of hope for the future. The Ethereals, once isolated and vulnerable, were now part of the galactic conquered, their unique perspective and peaceful ideals a valuable addition to the Alliance. The journey had been long and challenging, but the rewards were immeasurable. The Deathworld diplomats, through their courage, empathy, and unwavering belief in the power of unity, had forged a new path for both humanity and the Ethereals. The galaxy, once a vast and lonely expanse, was now a little bit brighter, a little bit more connected, thanks to the efforts of a few brave individuals who dared to reach out across the stars.